First question, and we'll ask Marty to take this one first. Why is the 2-hour parking on side streets closest to Madison not enforced day and night? Seems very preferential to businesses versus residents.
Yes, it's true. We do not enforce that 2-hour limit on side streets. And really, when you think about the kind of businesses we have in downtown, really that's not a realistic duration for the side streets in that area for the evening, in the evening. It certainly is on I believe we have a 3-hour parking duration on Madison during the day. And our problem with parking in the downtown area is not so much the duration, but the actual enforcement of long-term parkers. It's the employees of the business district that unfortunately are taking a lot of the prime parking spaces. We established a program where employees were to park on Adams, but without any real enforcement of long-term parkers and long-term employee parkers, we will have the problem that we've had, where the employees of the business take too much of the parking on Madison. So I'm in favor of us increasing that duration, but then enforcing the duration as when we establish what the best duration should be. And I'm also in favor of some of the things other things we can do in terms of parking. I advocated on the council of reducing the resident parking for remote areas. So remote from areas downtown, we reduce the area, the cost of parking for residents, overnight parking, and try to draw some of the residents away from the downtown area to free up more spaces for the businesses.
Today, the Tribune highlighted the pension payment shortage. Has the village made their pension obligations? And if not, how do you propose to fund them?
It's true. It's not just Forest Park. But one thing that you have to recognize is that these bills will come due. So that's why it was very difficult for me to vote against the firefighters' contract when it came forward, because who doesn't love the firefighters and all the good work that they do? But when you have a provision in that contract that essentially is what's called a longevity clause, but it's just a pension spike. When it's just a pension spike, it increases the pensions. You get in the situation that we're in, and the fact of the matter is that our pension funding level is constantly going down. It's been going down for the last 10 years. We are now in the 60% for our policemen and just over 50% for our firefighters. In 1995, the state of Illinois recommended 90% funding of these pensions, but has since no longer talks about that because nobody or very few communities are even keeping up at that level. Private businesses don't have that luxury. And the fact is that the state allows, or the state and federal government does not allow for private pensions to fall so far behind. But the rationale of a lot of the states, the villages fall behind, is that they'll always be there, so they'll always be able to make it up. But what that does is that pushes the costs of our firefighters and our policemen down to future generations. And we can look at it and say, well, everybody else is doing it. But that doesn't change the fact that if we don't get this under control, that future generations will not have the same services that we have now.
Okay, I'd like to address the same question about the Altenheim that was addressed to the commissioners. Public discussion about the use of the Altenheim property, Fenwick, Dominican, or other uses.
This is one of my favorite topics. When the YMCA wasn't able to buy the property, and they came to us and canceled the contract, I went to our village administrator and said, we should have a public forum. It's been 10 years or so since we had that kind of input from the public. We should have a public forum. Let's get together and decide what we want to do with this property. And it was a couple of months went by or so, and then I was told that, well, Fenwick and Dominican are interested in buying the property. And my response to that was for athletic fields, which was great. My response to that was, good, let's meet with Fenwick, Dominican, let's get together with the parks. Let's see if we can't come up with some way in which we can collaborate. The village owns it, the park takes care of it, Fenwick and Dominican lease it, we get public use, get some funding help from Fenwick and Dominican, we maintain green space, let's get together. The response to that from the administration, the mayor, was to pass a resolution, kind of a vague resolution, saying that I wasn't allowed to talk to the Fenwick or Dominican, or the mayor was the only one that was allowed to discuss the sale or use of public property. And that's me as a commissioner of public property. What I'd like to do with that is get together with the public, decide what we want to do with it. Personally, I'd like to see some green space and park space. That's why I've been advocating that to put a temporary dog park there, to maintain some green space, develop some, but most of all, get your opinion on what we want to do as well.